Welcome to Channel AMEC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Carl Young, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested about migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the little bell on the side, so once we have all the updated news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Today's video, we're gonna focus on the 485, the temporary graduate visa. Reason why is because we are at a period of a lot of people had actually graduated either from university, TAFE, or whatever the course that is. However, anyway, if you have graduated, if you are gonna graduate in July or other terms, that's fine. This video will be very useful for you. We'll go through what you require to actually get all the documentation required in order for you to submit a complete 485 visa. Now, 485 visa is very well known because it's a visa that Australian government giving the right for the graduate international student who graduated to have the opportunity in a way to actually work and have the work permit in Australia to actually conduct their first career perhaps in Australia, and it could potentially connected to a skill migration pathway because you have actually accumulated your work experiences. Anyway, let's have a look what the visa is actually all about, and you may already been going through this web page, which is provided by the government of Australia with the temporary graduate visa, which has a numbers of different stream. So we're gonna go through each one of them. It's quite easy for me to actually make it very easy understandable way in a video format for you to understand. Now, first of all, obviously we have gone through a pandemic, or you can see this COVID-19, all these criteria. There has been extension and also flexibility given by the government of Australia, where if you actually graduated outside of Australia offshore, you can still lodge it, first of all, and secondly, if you were or previously being a holder of 485 visa back in 2020 and 21, and you're giving an opportunity to reapply a new 485 visa, so you will have that, you don't lose the right of this visa. You can actually come to Australia and continue your work in Australia perhaps. Okay, now the most commonly known is the post-study work stream in the middle here. Basically it's a stream that as long as you have completed Australian study, the definition of Australian study requirement is that you hold an Australian visa allow you to study, which is commonly known student visa. You can hold other visa as well. And you study 2 years. 2 years means 4 semesters. To be more clear and detailed defined. As soon as you complete that, you'll be able to actually lodge this post-study work stream 485 visa, which allows you to have at least 2 years to actually 4 years, and plus the extension that's given by the Australian government, you could actually have another 12-month extension there. So it's a good way to actually do it. And also there are people that study not in higher education. So PSW is all for higher education or above, so bachelor, master, or PhD. So if you study something else in TAFE, you probably will end yourself in the graduate work stream. Now, that is a little bit different. The additional thing required for the graduate work stream is you need to have applied a skill assessment and nominate your occupation. So PSW, you are not required to do that, but graduate work stream, you are definitely required to do that. But knowing so, there is a coming out change of the regulation. Not too sure it's gonna be July or April, but the idea is to merge perhaps the two streams altogether, so there's no more requirement of nominating an occupation. But despite of the differences of your study, the length of a 485 can be different, but we don't know, we're not sure yet. That was the idea, so make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell side, so once we have received the update of this visa, we'll definitely put it on YouTube and Facebook. As you can see down here, at this point in time, the PSW is given between 2 to 4 years, depending on your qualification, and the graduate work is 18 months. Temporary increase to 24-month visa granted from 1st December 2021. So at this stage, this is the current scope. Now, what do you need? Let's just jump into one of the stream and we go through some of the detail. Make sure you have. I just cannot imagine people actually got a visa refusal on a 485 visa, but there are people like that. So make sure you don't get yourself into that sort of route. Okay, so the eligibility. Let's have a look. You gotta be under age of 50. Or below and have these visa. Let's have a read. Basically it says you need to have student visa held past 6 months prior of lodging this visa. So what, because obviously you graduated and receiving a letter of completion, we'll show you a sample of a letter of completion, and perhaps you extended with a graduate visitor visa, or you extend another visa in order to actually meet your residency requirement. So at least the 6 months prior your visa lodgement, you have to show that at least you have held Australian student visa. And the qualification, as I said, it has to be bachelor or above for higher education. That's for PSW. But for the graduate stream, it doesn't have to be higher education. It can be a qualification from TAFE. But if you have study bachelor or above, no one actually pick graduate work stream, because the length of the work right given is less than the PSW, so you might as well pick PSW. Is better. Now, both the stream required to meet Australian study requirement, as I have very quickly explained what that actually meant, but let's go into the actual detail. It has to be a courses taken by a CRICOS registered course. Okay, now I haven't seen anyone taking courses other than this, because if you're taking any other courses other than CRICOS registered courses, you cannot even get student visa. So yeah, it will definitely be like that. Successfully complete the course, and the study was in English. Oh, for sure. I mean, if you're studying in Australia, what other language can you actually study? I'm not too sure why they put this one up there. Your complete courses result at least 2 academic years, 92 weeks of study, and that will be not less than 16 calendar month. Okay, and you have a student visa. Well, obviously, if you have a student visa, that will allow you to study anyhow. So that's the basic of what it is, but obviously there has been a lot of technicality and detail that causing a lot of people not actually meeting this requirement. So for example, a lot of people come and studying in Australia, but they have studied similar courses in their home country, so their whole program has been accredited, meaning that a master traditionally has to be completed in 2 years. If you receive credits from your university, then your full course studying in Australia will be less than 2 years, less than 92 weeks, less than 16 calendar month. Then you will not meet the Australian study requirement. Thus, you will not be able to lodge a 485 visa. Pity. So make sure before you come to Australian study, you understand this part. Okay, have a study with Australian education provider. Well, that's pretty sure, because you gotta select a CRICOS course. And the passport, health insurance, I'm gonna show you how they will look like. Now, a lot of people question in regards to whether I should wait for graduation certificate in order to lodge the 485 visa. Now that is not the case. As long as you have complete your examination and the result is out, and you can see that from your study portal, university portal, whatever it is, you can see it. Now you should approach your student center and request for a letter of completion. Now how does it look like? it will look like this one, giving you a sample here. This is from TAFE, Western Australian TAFE. It's pretty simple. The letter basically stated out who enrolled into whatever the course, and they have completed the course with such and such a date and with such and such a length, and that's it. That's as simple as the letter of completion. Now, any institutions in Australia, as long as they are Cricos registered, they will always have this. So if you have this one, then you'll be able to actually lodge the visa. And the other thing is, you need to make sure that you also have the Australian Federal Police clearance, the police certificate done. Now, a lot of people went into this AFP website. You can do it online. It's pretty convenient, and people get visa refused because they chose the wrong format. They chose the wrong options category for the AFP. Now, make sure you pick the one is specifically made for immigration purpose. Okay, don't pick any other category, because if you receive those one and you forward the immigration, they will not accept it and your visa will be refused. Now, finally, it's the health insurance. You need to also have health insurance, otherwise your visa will not be granted. So this is just another sample. Now, where do you get it? We can see that you can actually contact Bupa, or you can contact Allianz. You can contact all types of other health insurance companies. They will be able to issue you a statement that's specifically designed for 485 visa, and all this is required to be lodged at the time of application. If you don't have these ones, obviously you need IELTS as well. If you don't have these ones and you're bluntly lodged applications, then your visa cannot be saved even if it gets refused. So make sure you have everything ready, and I strongly recommend a visa is actually very important identification of yourself, your career, and your future. Do contact someone who is professional locally for you, or perhaps you want to contact us for the services as well. Anyhow, should you have more question query, more than welcome to leave me a comment right down below, and I see you next video. Goodbye.